It says in your program I'm supposed to do a summary and direct the way forward. I'm not sure how one does a summary where everything has been said in 2 days, or direct the way forward on such a difficult topic. Maybe I'm one of Ivo de Boer's donkeys that hasn't yet learned how to stop walking into the stone or something. But I'm going to, I just want to pick out a few highlights of what I've heard here and leave you with 3 thoughts as to what I think I would encourage you to do going forward. Yesterday, Elaine Tan kicked off by telling us that each year we're using 1.5 planets worth of resources. If you're a Singaporean, you're actually using per capita 4 planets worth of resources. That, of course, comes with a cost. And that cost comes from the planet's natural capital. My organization, WWF, works with another one of your partners here, the Zoological Society of London, to actually rather depressingly measure the decline in natural capital. We know that that natural capital has declined by 52% over the last 50 years. Now, most of that pressure on the planet, we call it the ecological footprint, most of that pressure comes from population growth. By mid-century, we're going to be 9 billion people. Those people are going to be richer on average by a factor of 3. We're going to be consuming double all the stuff that we consume today. And 70% of those people will live in cities. So we're talking more people, more money, more consumption, and everybody crammed into cities. Wow, it sounds like a brilliant business opportunity. What are we all sitting here for? Let's get out and get making money. But of course, it comes with threats. Laurie Tan told us this morning all the challenges that cities face as we go forward, and we're going to get bigger, and there's going to be more of them. We've heard also about climate. Perpetually, we hear about climate. Next year is going to be a big year for climate. Next year is probably going to be the last chance that we've got to be able to make a difference for the climate in the major summit, the COP21 you heard about this morning that'll take place in Paris next year. President Yudhoyono told us about the recent rapprochement between the United States and the People's Republic of China, agreeing on their common stance leading up to that conference. Now, that really is a game changer. 2 countries that have been on opposite sides of the fence so long that produced that catastrophic mess in Copenhagen those years ago, now coming together to say, no, we've got to do it differently. There seems to be a very good chance that next year we could be successful. But is everyone ready? Is everyone ready for what would follow after that when restrictions are put on carbon emissions? Are companies prepared for that? Even if we stopped emissions tomorrow, we know that climate change is there with us, that things are going to change, weather patterns are going to change. Water in particular, there's going to be places that are going to get too much of it, there's going to be places that don't have enough of it. One of the most popular products that we've produced over recent years is something we call a water risk filter. And companies are clamoring to actually use that filter to see how at risk they are from water scarcity. And of course, resources. The timber, fish, other natural resources that are being overutilized. I won't harp on about those. Can we turn it around? Can the discussions that we've had here make a difference? Well, if I wasn't an optimist, I wouldn't get out of bed in the morning. So I would say, yes, we can turn things around. We know that third-party certification can work. We've not been at it for that long, but already we've got 62% of the world's paper supply FSC certified. We've got 60% of the world's white fish supply certified by the Marine Stewardship Council. Now, those are the two oldest certification systems. Closer to home, the RSPO, the Sustainable Palm Oil Certification System, covers about 16% of market share. But the RSPO has only been in existence for about 4 years now, so it is catching up fast to those others. More definitely will be coming on stream. So there's bags of opportunity out there for sustainability. So given that, what is the way forward from my perspective? And I want to try and leave you with just 3 ideas, because most of us can't remember more than 3 ideas, especially me. The first one is about focus. Where to start when there's so much noise, so much information, so many different people doing so many different things. How can we focus? Now, this morning, Ivo de Boer spoke about his triangle of triumph. So if I can get the first slide. Can I get a slide? So we had the triangle of triumph this morning. I want to offer you the martini glass of hope. I think all this started when some of my colleagues began to talk about sustainability a long time ago. They very soon found themselves in the bar needing a drink. So maybe this is where this diagram came from. You won't be able to read it all the way at the back there, but what it says is at the bottom of the martini glass, there are 2 billion producers in the world. And across the top of the martini glass, there are 7 billion consumers. And in WWF, we were asking ourselves, where the heck do we start amongst all this? How many billions can one organization possibly talk to? And we couldn't. But when we analyzed important commodities, when we looked at who was dealing with those commodities, we found that approximately 500 companies were dealing with 70% of the trade in those commodities in the world. And we said, 2 billion we can't do, 7 billion we certainly can't do, 500. Now that becomes a usable number that we can work with. And so this is what we've been trying to do. We've been trying to work with a selection of those 500 companies, because we can't even deal with 500. Because if we can get a critical mass of responsible companies demanding high standards of production, then we can push the marketplace past a tipping point and hopefully try and make sustainability that new normal for the future. And hopefully use capitalism in favor of the environment rather than against the environment. So my first point would be focus. Make some good choices. My second point came out of the panel discussion just now. And that is that procurement is a powerful tool. Because making the right choices in a supply chain can put pressure on that supply chain. So I would urge you all to look at your materials. Where do they come from? Where do your supplies come from? And what is the behavior of your suppliers? And make good choices amongst that. We've got some remarkable achievements. Unilever. All their tea, every leaf of Unilever's tea is certified as rainforest friendly. The Aeon supermarket chain in Japan is the world's largest retailer of fish, and they are committed to only stocking MSC certified fish on their shelves in a few years' time. Now, not only does that put a lot of demand on the companies that supply tea to Unilever or fish to Aeon, but it also makes life a lot easier for consumers, because There's a lot of schemes out there at the moment. I'm a fan of third-party certification, but my goodness, it's confusing when you go to the supermarket and start having to read all those labels. If we can work more with retailers to demand the right products for their shelves, it takes that pressure off the consumers. If those brands become certified, if there is the consumer demand for them, those brands become respected, they become trusted, and that's got to be another new normal for our future, where sustainability means trust and success. And finally, I think Peter made the point just then about working together. And that is my third point, because groups working together can make things possible. No one particular sector can deliver a sustainable future for us. Not governments, not civil society, not the private sector working alone, but only working together can we make that possible. Ivo this morning spoke about kleptocrats. And I would encourage you all to use your peers, use your business associations to push for what you know is right, because you wouldn't all be still sitting here in the closing stages of a two-day meeting if you weren't interested in doing what is right. It's got to be voluntary. It's got to be a group effort. But you must not let the thieves and cheats get away with quick wins, because those are the ones that are costing us the earth. Anybody who's interested to know more about what we feel about sustainable production, no, the slide's disappeared, has gone, can visit our website and download the publication I was just about to show you. Thank you very much. There we go. So go to panda.org and look for better production, and you'll find our latest thinking. So I hope those three thoughts are useful. I'm sure I'm not the first person to express those opinions in this room today. And I wish you all good luck and strength and determination for the thing that we're all interested in. Thank you.